That's all right. You cooking me? That's free data for me. All right. Great. Great. Okay. I'm always y'all to come on with it, man. My bad, man. My fault. It's a little bit late, man. My bad. But you guys saw my tutorial, right? So I had to switch some lane, you know what I'm saying? So I did a tutorial for you guys instead of the layering the vocals, right? The reason why you want to manually layer the vocals, right? If you are a student of learning, if you are a student of self improvement, right? Nowadays with all the technologies, layering vocals just like that, right? But that defeats the purpose of actually learning mastering the basic, right? Which is learning how to manually layer the vocals of whatever song you want to use, right? I use mine, but at the same time, it allows you to hear the sound. It allows you to hear the frequency. It allows you to hear what it sounds like to blend, to mutate a sound, just like how when Mozart back in his day, when Beethoven was in his day. Remember, Beethoven was blind, right? So it was all ears, right? But at the same time, is that when you start to utilize your brain, right, the hearing, it becomes sensitive to sound. It becomes sensitive to tune. It becomes sensitive to frequency. And that's the reason why, right, nowadays, right, we don't have that anymore. It's because of the scrolling. But that's not the point. The point is that when we start to ignore certain trait about the human species, right, we tend to lose that trait over time. Like in science, we call it recessive, right? So when the gene becomes recessive, it no longer has that trait, but that does not mean it's gone, right? It just means that it's hidden. It's low key. You know what I'm saying? So in order to reawaken, right, that hidden trait, as a human being, we have to be able to utilize the skills that we should be able to do, right? For example, run, walk, lift, stuff like that, right? Thinking in a way, guys, remember, the human brain, we can most have access to about 10%, but not many could though, right? But at the same time, that's not the purpose. The purpose is to learn new things. But in order to learn that new things, what's up, Rom hack? Rom, hey, you talking about Rom, the old Rom? You talking about the emulator Rom? But no, but at the same time though, is that mastering the basic, the ROM, right? Mastering the basic is very important, right? And that's the reason why I use the easy curve bar here. You see that? The easy curve bar is soft on the wrist, but at the same time though, is that you're willing to learn new things, right? Learning new things start with the basic, and the basic in philosophy is to always elevate the basic. The more you learn, the more you have to elevate the basic. Why? Because a jab with a spear, a hit with a hammer, it all required, what? Approach, technique, right? But at the same time, it's the basic. The easy curl bar is the same way. Yeah, it's about 20 pounds. It's light to me though, but it might be heavy for you though. Just kidding. But you see how you're able to adjust, right? Rotate. If you're a spearmaster, check it out. Boom, right? But at the same time, you want to fin, boom. Yeah. But if you want to bicep curls, hey, what's up, guys? You want to bicep curl, see that? Yeah, you see that? Yeah, see that? That's the holy light in the background. You know what I'm saying? Hey, no Ragnarok, the holy light attack, the priest. Anyway, but as you can see, right, when you apply the basic, right, into your workout, it's not a heavy amount of weight, guys. Ladies, women, men, machine, you guys can do this too. But at the same time, though, it's that you want to focus on the high repetition. What is high repetition? High repetition is, for example, I can do 50 of this. But does that mean it's high repetition? Yeah, right. So I like to find the sweet spot, which is 25, right? 25 repetition. See that? Check it out. I'm gonna show you what. Check it out. See it? Most people they start from right here. You could, right? But at the same time, you see how when you start from right here, it don't give you that leverage, right? If you start from right here, see that? You see that? You see how the bicep is popping? Boom. See that? That's the difference, guys. It's that when the bicep, with the bicep, which is right here, when you lean forward like this with your arm, that's when the bicep actually in work. When you put it back here, it's not really right. So when you want to train your bicep, you want to put it into work, which is right here. Then boom. See that? You see the difference, right? So that's the bicep. Hold on a second, right? So that's the bicep, right? The bicep, I'm sure you guys know my technique, right? You want to put it about to right here. When you put about right here and you curl it, whatever what way works for you, it gives you that already that contraction that the bicep is in work. When you put it in here, it's more towards the back and peak, right? But at the same time, though, you're wasting your time. You should train it though, but you shouldn't make that as the focus, right? You want to put it right about here, and then you start to curl it. See how the bicep what? Come right here. See the difference? You see now the tricep is more in work when you put back here, right? Exactly. When you go back here, the tricep will be more at work. See that? So that means whenever you train bicep, you want to bring it up to about right here, right? About right here. Boom. See that? Because you want to put your bicep in work before, right? You start to jerk, right? You could jerk, but it defeats the purpose. Why? Because one, I'm a martial artist. What is the effect of creatine? Well, you can use creatine, right? For example, to answer your question, right? Creatine is one of those things which allow you to absorb more your blood cells, right? To absorb more water, right? To expand it. But at the same time, though, it doesn't really give you the growth, though. It gives you the swole to allow room for growth, right? But at the same time, though, it offset. Why? Because when you sweat, right? When you start sweating, what happens? The water weight is gone. That's why when you take creatine, right, and you stop for like 2 weeks, you see all that 20, at least 25% gain is gone. That's the water weight from the creatine. But it does give you that strength, though, the extra strength to boost your lift 1 2 reps. But it really doesn't do that much, guys. Why? Because creatine is expensive. But at the same time, it depends on which one you're trying, the monohydrate or the crealkaline, like which are different things, right? The crealkaline is more pure. The purer the creatine, the better. The better the creatine, but at the same time more expensive, right? I hope that answers your question. Yes, it is. Yeah, creatine. Yeah, creatine. If you take it in a large amount, it can affect your kidney because most creatine, unless you take it separately, it include within the pre-workout, right? With the pre-workout, it also has the caffeine. The caffeine, along with the other ingredients, it makes your kidney work extra harder, right? Because of that, guess what happens? When you stop taking or when you take a lot amount, right? For example, if you're like overweight or if you're heavier weight, guess what happens? You take more. When you take more, guess what happens? You have to buy more. But if you're in the hood, if you can't afford it, guess what happens? You don't need it though, right? You don't need to get all these extra supplements, right? Check this out. Guys, join my hammer club. When you guys join my hammer club, guess what happens? You get result, man. See that? That's 15 pounds. Check it out. 15 pounds, check it out. 2 feet, 4 feet. That's heavy, right? You gotta be strong like me to be able to do this. You know what I'm saying? No, but that's a great question though, man. Again, man, I was late today. Hey, check out my videos, man. Check out my videos under semantics, man. I got a Shakespeare poem. I'm a poet, by the way. I'm a rapper. Check it out. Lisa, Lily, you are. Hey, what's up, Higgins? Wait, what's this? Is that you, Higgins? Higgins, is that you? Remember me? Yeah, I was the guy who made fun of you. Remember that? Remember that? Just now. I was kidding. I was kidding. It was a joke. You see that? You see how funny I am? I'm super funny, but I'm random too, but chaotic, right? But the point is that guys, supplement, right? Real talk before I have to go a little bit. Supplement is good for you, but you have to do the basic. You know what I'm saying? The basic is doing the right form. Target a target. If you want bicep, you do the bicep every single day. You know what I'm saying? If you want the butt, you do your butt every single day. That's the truth. You can't gain result by doing once every 2 weeks. It doesn't work that way. You think the Spartan trains their body once every 3 months? No. If you want to be an expert, if you want to be a programmer, if you want to be a coder, if you want to be a researcher, if you want to master your craft, you gotta do every single day, right? But at the same time, guys, yes, sir. On that man, hey guys, check out my Isamantix musical man Shakespeare support my campaign. Join my hammer club. Get your hammer. I guarantee you'll get result. Or come to Long Beach and slap in the face, man. All right. Adios, man.